In this video, I want to talk to you about my 5 income streams that you could also start today. So I want to start off with the lowest and show you how I'm diversifying, how some of them aren't bringing in very much, but once you bring in that $1 for that income stream, you can then scale it up, which is what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to talk to you about my challenges as well, and then we can do a review video in 6 months and see how it goes. Like I said, you can do this too. There is nothing special about me. If you're getting into tech or already in tech, you can definitely do this as well. I would like to start off with my SaaS platform, BIODROP. For those of you who've been following me, I've been working on this for a year now, full time, and we've got 3,500 people signed up. But in terms of paying people, we've got 1. So I make kind of £3.60 per month, not per day, per month. So I can buy a coffee each month on that. So that's something, and I can scale that up, and that's what I'm working on at the moment. And that's one of my biggest challenges that I look forward to sharing with you on how that goes. Next is YouTube. So YouTube is about £10 per month is what I'm making. You can see I've got about 288 subscribers last month with about 26,000 views. So not a lot, but it's something, and I want to work harder on my YouTube channel. I want to make longer videos, more deep dive videos. Hopefully that is more of what you all want to see and also will help my revenue. Then next up, we have Twitter. Look at the top one, ignore the bottom one because that was for like 6 months. So on a month, on average, I make about £15. So that's what I get from Twitter, and that's with 160,000+ followers. So again, the followers don't matter in this case. It is how many impressions your content gets. So yeah, this is quite interesting, but probably not as much as you would think. And then I have GitHub sponsors, which is the next one up, which is about £250–300 a month, but that is declining all the time, actually. I've noticed this reduce massively over the last 12 months, and I continue to see it reduce. So I think next month will probably be 200, and then in a few months, probably like 150, which is fine. It's not something that I'm actually scaling. GitHub sponsors is completely optional. It's not something I push. I know some people do, and they push their Patreon and Open Collective and so forth, and that's fine. But I don't want to make money from the community, so this is not something I push. I'm just grateful for the money I receive from this. And the last revenue stream I have at the moment, number 5, so the highest one is client work. So that could be sponsored YouTube videos, sponsored content on Twitter or LinkedIn, or speaking engagement or consultancy. And that's definitely, I would say, 95% of my income. And again, I can break that down into different categories in the future. That's something you'd like to learn about. So the client work is the biggest part, but that is something I do want to reduce and increase my SaaS product. So the one that is currently the smallest, I would like to make the biggest. What would I do differently if I was to do this again? I would say I would focus more on the SaaS product and getting it out there to the users quicker. A bit more like a mini hackathon with myself, rather than trying to think of every feature that people might want, get it out there sooner and get feedback from the users. I think that is really, really important. And so that's something I want to start trying to do a bit more, especially with some premium features. I want to put them out there and see if that will help people be keen to upgrade. Or maybe that's not what they want and I need to take the product in a different direction. And we're also looking at companies, so enterprise customers, so more companies to pay for their own profiles. Again, that's a whole other discussion. And if you want to know more about that, let me know in the description below. Where will I invest my time going forward? I do spend a lot of time on BIODROP, and I think I want to continue doing that. However, I'd like to spend a bit more time on YouTube. I have reduced my time on Twitter. I feel that is ticking over. I'm getting a bit of sponsored content for that, but I think I would like to do longer and deep dive videos. At the moment, I'm doing between 5 and 15-minute videos on average. I would like to do maybe 1–2 hour videos and maybe build a startup from scratch to a deployable product with you in that video. And then we can see how it goes and actually integrate it with Stripe and then just put it out there. And if that gets some paid users, then great. I can share that with you and hopefully encourage you to work on your side projects and don't leave it until tomorrow and never get around to it, which is what I've done in the past, or not take it very seriously and not add payments, because sometimes people do want to pay for those extra features. What are my challenges? I think my challenges at the moment is time. Time is the biggest challenge for me. I do get a lot of notification across all the social platforms, and I really enjoy those because that gives me ideas for more content. but I would like to spend a bit more time pushing my coding projects forward and geeking out with you on community calls in the EddieHub Discord, because I find that so motivating, so much fun, and I really, really enjoy it. And I know I want to do that more. But please remember, anyone can do any of these 5 income streams. I know like with YouTube and Twitter, there are certain criteria, but I wouldn't focus too much on them because you don't get a lot of money from them anyway. So I wouldn't try and devalue your brand to try and get more impressions by just doing constant memes, because a lot of those accounts are getting muted or blocked anyway, because they are filling up people's timelines with information that is sometimes entertaining, or is usually entertaining, but also can be on a bit borderline if it's offensive or not to some people. But also people want educational information as well. Edutainment, I think, is the word that people throw around a lot, where it's entertaining but also educational at the same time. And if you've got an open source side project, don't forget you could turn that into a revenue stream, either by having premium features, either by getting GitHub sponsors, or doing things like the GitHub Accelerator, where they want you to work full-time with your open source project and they give you money via your GitHub sponsors as well. But I hope that was interesting for you. I know it's really useful for me to share, and then for me to look back in 3-6 months and see how things have changed. It was interesting how maybe 1.5, 2 years ago, YouTube was 95% of my income, and how that has reduced, and I focus more on Twitter, and that started increasing. But now I've got too many eggs in one basket, and definitely do want to diversify. And those of you who are still around, I know what you're thinking, but Eddie, you've got an open source course. I do, but it's completely free, so I don't make any money from that at all. Hope you enjoyed this video. Come and geek out with me in the EddieHub community. We do open source every day. Link in the description below.